Hey everyone, it's me Joji, and today we're going to be taking a look at this year's Trainer's Toolkit. Now, if you don't know what a Trainer's Toolkit is, it is pretty much what it is meant to be. A toolkit for a Pokemon trainer, specifically, obviously, the TCG. And it's going to have tons of stuff in here ready for you to become a good Pokemon trainer in TCG. It's going to have a lot of trainer cards, some good extra Pokemon cards, and of course some packs to open to hopefully get some even better cards to up your game and make your decks even better. Okay, so starting by opening it up is always a hassle. I wish they had like an easy tear slot for these things. But let's get this off. Now, this is just a sleeve as usual for most of their products, and you can actually use this box for storage if you wanted to. Let's open it up here. All right. We have a bunch of cards here. It looks like the code card is separate this time around. This year we have some blue sleeves. Last year I believe we had some orange sleeves. I don't know if I have any on hand around me at the moment, but hopefully I put it up on the screen right now so you can see the difference. I think they are pretty much the same design, except it is orange. Maybe a slight difference also. We do get, of course, our burn and poison counters. Some dice for you to also get. This is usually good, especially if you haven't gotten an Elite Trainer box. That way you can get those like actual physical dice that way. Okay, so I think that's everything in there. We get, of course, some packs here to up your decks a bit more. We get 2 Stellar Crown, a Twilight Masquerade, and Temporal Forces, and a Deck Builder's Guide, which is perfect because this is meant to help your deck get better. Usually, if you're getting this item, you want to do it for all the extra Pokemon cards you're getting here that will help make your decks better. I always recommend this as a stepping stone for people that have a level 1 or level 2 deck and want to make it a bit more competitive. And I believe this Trainer Toolkit does tell you how some of these cards work into those decks. Also, this actually has some information on how to build a Roaring Moon EX deck with some of these cards. Interesting. Even has some information on how to play that deck. That is very interesting. I've never taken a look at that or seen that before, but that's actually cool to see now. All right, I believe that's the only deck it talks about. Yeah, that's the only deck it talks about, but that's pretty cool to see that they are actually giving you ideas on like how to make this Roaring Moon EX deck. To be fair, Roaring Moon, you need 4 of them, so if you don't have those, and there is no current EX battle deck that comes with them, so hopefully you can buy the singles, as always, of those cards. Now, I think you could probably remove this piece here if you wanted to make more space for storage, but if you wanted to keep it as a separator, you can have it as like that. And of course, store your cards like that. Use this for storage. Maybe put your things back in here, like things you don't need to show off in the video for now, you know. Put these all back in here. And what we're gonna do is not open up the packs, actually. We're gonna take a look at the contents of this brick here. As you can kind of see, it already has the Squawkabilly on there on the top. Let me get a closer look here for you guys. This is a promo version of Squawkabilly EX that you get in... It's a very good question. I forget where Squawkabilly EX first came out, but there is one here. I believe there's actually 2 total of them in here. Let me get it opened up here. 1 second. I believe there's 2 Squawkabilly EX. I also don't know if this is in order. So if it's not, we will have to organize it. All right, so yeah, we do get 2 Squawkabilly EX. There's a Sada there, but let's take a closer look at these cards. Same exact thing as the Squawkabilly EX that you get normally, but this time around, obviously different artwork, and it is considered a promo card down here. So, if you're trying to get some Squawkabilly EXs, this is a good choice, and you do get a bunch of other trainer cards as well. let me set these aside here and take a quick peek. It is out of order, so I'm going to go ahead and organize these and come back in a few seconds. Okay, so other than those two Squawkabilly EX, we do get some other Pokemon, namely Tatsugiri here. It is a non-holo Tatsugiri. I believe the ones you get in the Twilight Masquerade packs are holo, and also I think the ones that you get in the pre-release could have been non-holo as well, but this is here for its attract customers ability. It's a good ability to have, and it's a simple enough one that most people would be pretty easy with adding in. And speaking of an easy ability to add into decks, we have two Dittos here. These are from the Pokemon 151 set. Transformative Start is a good way to, if you unfortunately have to start the Ditto, you can put a different Pokemon, a different basic Pokemon on top of it instead. But those are good cards to start off with, and good cards to add into any beginner deck, honestly. Moving on, we actually have some really other good cards to add in. Let's actually start off with the supporters. We have two Arven right here, a good inclusion to any deck, and I don't think too many of the level 1s come with Arven, so it's a good card to add, especially since this does give you a lot of Poke Tools. We have two Boss's Orders, another thing that some of the level 1s have started adding, but not too many of them. We have two Iono, a card that actually doesn't get included in the starter ones, but I believe level 2s do sometimes run at least one of them in the initial list. We have two Professor's Research, one of each type, the Sada and the Turo. Let's actually move this up here. We have, speaking of Turo, we have two Turo's Scenario here. Some good cards to have. I am showing off some of the cards that are more inclusions that can go into any deck. As you'll see, I'll point it out later, but we didn't put this in this pile at the moment. Here's Alana's Aid, a good card also to have in any deck. Now, let's move on to the item cards before I show some more niche cards, I would say, when it comes to what comes in this box. These, again, are all cards that honestly could go into any level 1 or 2 deck, or even level 3s, or your custom ones if you're building them out. Two Buddy Buddy Puff, two Nest Ball, two Ultra Ball, two Earthen Vessel, two Switch cards, one Super Rod. Honestly, an odd choice. I don't know why they only added one in here. They added one ofs for other things, but Super Rod specifically didn't make sense. Two Counter Catcher, two Rescue Board, good card to have, especially if you have Arven, and then two Rare Candy, really good card because a lot of the level 1s don't come with rare candies, so it's a good way to get your basics to a stage 2 really quickly. Now, let's talk about some of the cards that I think don't really fit into every single type of deck. Starting off with Superior Energy Retrieval. Now, this card doesn't seem like it would fit in every single deck because it essentially only adds back basic energy, unlike a Super Rod where you can add multiple things back to your deck. This adds it to your hand. So if you're playing something like Goldango EX or Chimpao, those two decks do want to run Superior Energy Retrieval, but most other cases you wouldn't want to have that in there. Same thing goes with Enhanced Hammer. If you're expecting to discard a lot of special energy from your opponent, these are good to have, but in my honest opinion, probably not a necessity in most decks anyways. We have Bug Catching Set. Again, this could go into something that uses Terapagos EX, not Terapagos, I keep making this mistake. Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. A very different Pokemon. I don't know why I make that mistake, but these cards could get added into there if you're trying to find the Teal Mask Ogerpon itself or some energy to attach to it. TM Evolution, one of those cards again, if you're running something that you want to go second in attack with, maybe a Gardevoir EX that wants to evolve its routes much faster, this is a choice to use. We have two Electric Generators. Obviously, this is a very niche pick. It's going to go into a electric type deck anyways, so obviously Miraidon's the first choice, and honestly the only choice, unless you're running a Future Iron Hands deck instead. And then we go into some very more niche picks here. These are 3 cards that would only go into a future Pokemon deck, honestly, unless you are running like a one of for a future Pokemon in a list there. But these cards obviously go well with future Pokemon, so you want to have these obviously to get your future Pokemon, and this attaches only to future Pokemon. So these are cards that I would suggest only adding to a deck that needs them for the future Pokemon. And then the same thing goes for these last 5 cards. These really go well with ancient Pokemon. More specifically, this goes with anything, right? But Sada really goes well with Raging Bolt EX. You could use this also in Roaring Moon, and I believe the Ancient Box as well. This one goes really well with Ancient Box, in my opinion. So these are very niche, should only be going into decks that rely heavily on Ancient Pokemon. And then rounding off all of these cards you're getting, we have our energy. We have 2 Jet Energies, which could be an inclusion to most decks, but not to every deck, in my opinion. And the same thing goes with Reversal Energy here. Not an inclusion to every deck because it does have to go into a, I believe, a Pokemon without a rule box. So that's not a lot of like the EX Pokemon at all. You can't use it on Radiant Pokemon either. And you do have to be down on prizes. So this is a very niche pick for certain decks as well. But this is all the cards you get. Some really good, of course, like I mentioned, all of these cards right here up until the rare candy here before this. So everything from the rare candy back to the beginning can be added to pretty much any level 1 or level 2 deck and make it even better. Everything after that though, Superior Energy all the way down to Reversal, is going to be very niche for some types of decks specifically, so keep that in mind. But this is a really good plethora of cards to start off with to up your game for those level 1, level 2 decks, or if you're making a custom deck from scratch, these are really good additions right off the bat. Like if I had to choose cards to just add in immediately into a deck without even knowing what the deck is, Arven, Boss's Orders, Iono, Earthen Vessel, Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, Buddy Buddy Poffin, that might be a mistake if there's no 70 HP basic Pokemon, Rescue Board, a Counter Catcher, maybe a Switch, Super Rod, and then probably Squawkabilly and Tatsugiri, maybe a Professor's Research. Those are immediate cards to any deck. That's a good base, honestly, to start off with to make a deck. I don't know about Lana's Aid. I haven't used it enough to say if it should be added in. Also, Tourist Scenario can be, again, situational. And like I said before, Buddy Buddy Poffin only for 70 HP basic Pokemon. So depending on what your basic Pokemon spread looks like, may not be a real necessity in your decks. But there's, like I just mentioned, there's so many good cards you could just immediately add in and then build upon that if you wanted to. So you can get this, pull out some cards from your bulk, maybe make a random rogue deck that way with just that single base. But let's take a look at what we get from these packs here as well and see if this will maybe help us make a good deck or not. I don't think just with these cards alone plus packs will we making a deck today, but anything could happen. Let's see what we get from those packs. Okay, so let's start with Stellar Crown here. Let's see if we would get any Terapagos EX. Honestly, it's a weird inclusion to have all these cards, and I don't think there's anything from Stellar Crown. I think there was something from Twilight Masquerade. I'm forgetting if there was, but they didn't have anything from Stellar Crown. And this did come out a little bit before Surging Spark, so we don't expect anything from there, obviously. Ooh, Briar is a really good card to have if you have some Terra Pokemon. Speaking of Terra Pokemon, here is a Cinderace EX. Nice hit, but if you were just getting this, you would not be able to play it because you are missing the, what is it called? I'm forgetting the first evolution and then Reboot to go with it. Score Bunny. That's what it is. I forgot for a second that it was named Score Bunny. All right, let's see what we get here. Maybe some Score Bunnies? It doesn't look like it, because that's all the commons. Swalot, Mienfoo, Vikavolt, Iron Boulder. You could maybe start building a future deck here. We would have to see what we get from Twilight Masquerade and Temporal Forces. There aren't too many good future Pokemon in these previous sets. I do think Paradox Rift have the better ones. Enhanced Hammer, we got a third one. Let's see here. Ooh, Legacy Energy. That is a good card to get. And in some decks, it would be a really good addition to have as your ace spec. You do take one less, or your opponent takes one less prize card when they knock out a Pokemon that this is attached to. So it's really good for Lugia V-Star decks. You can add this to your Iron Hand so you can use its attacks. So good card to get. Also, I think it's the only one I have right now. And then Heatran. Nice pull there. A good playable one too. I was kind of hoping we get some more playable cards than that though. We did get the other Enhanced Hammer and the Briar, but nothing else from this pack. Or these packs so far, I should say. Cybermaniac's Code Breaking is kind of useful, maybe in a Gardevoir deck, but I don't think I've seen it too often in other decks. Vikavolt, Giraffe Rig, Behemoth, the Dunsparce. Okay, this is a good playable one, only if you had obviously more of these and the Dunsparce to go with it. It is a good draw support in my opinion. I do like using it when I can. But, I mean, nothing good from the packs, honestly. The Legacy Energy is probably the most playable card out of all of the stuff we've just pulled. Enhanced Hammer is nice to have, but again, it's very niche. Legacy Hammer could be thrown in because you didn't get any ace specs in here. So you could throw this in as your ace spec if you don't have any others at the moment. But overall, not bad of a product, in my opinion. There are some really good cards in here that you get that are really worth getting and can help you build out an awesome deck. And unfortunately for us, this time around, we didn't get too many good cards. Honestly, Legacy Energy, maybe that Briar earlier, but if you want to play that Briar, you want to have correctly set up the prize race to have them set at 2, I believe, to use Briar, and then also have to have a Terra Pokemon. So there's a lot to ask for there, but Legacy Energy could be added into this to use that. If you have the other cards necessary, obviously, I think I do, but just from these packs alone, I don't have the stuff to get Cinderace into the active at all. The Dunsparce would have been a nice one to add in, but the packs aren't just that great. Honestly, this is the best thing to get from this product. And plus, don't forget, where did I put it? I think it's still in here. Sleeves. You can use these sleeves to play with because the EX battle decks don't come with any sleeves. So there you go. This is honestly, if you pair this with either a level 1 or level 2 EX battle deck, this and that, you would probably have a really good, gift for someone that's trying to get into Pokemon. They can start even trying out some new ideas, adding some of these cards to the deck you give them, and then they can even sleeve it up. And it does come with the dice and the actual burn counters, not those like cardboard ones that you get from a level 1. So it's a good way to have them start playing and get more familiar with the game. Honestly, it's a good product if you're, this is probably coming out before Christmas and you're thinking of getting, a fledgling Pokemon player or something. This might be a good combo to do. One of these trainer toolkits plus an EX battle deck, either level 1 or 2 or 3 if you're thinking of maybe getting them something even better. Might be a good idea. So, is this good product? Definitely yes. I think these trainer toolkits just keep getting better and better the way they build them. The first one was so good. This one is just pretty much just as good in my opinion. I think the first one, wasn't it the one with the Dene EX? That was a really good draw support. Just like the Squawkabilly is. Honestly, that's kind of reminiscent of that now that I think about it. But overall, it's definitely a buy for me if you're a player. Of course, if you're a collector, don't get this. Don't get this if you're a collector. But if you're a player, definitely get it. I would usually say buy singles, but hey, you get so many good trainer cards already. If you're just trying to buy singles of these, you might just be better off just getting this product. So let me know what you think about this product. Are you going to be going out to get the newest Trainer's Toolkit? I mean, I already did, but let me know what you think about it down in the comments. What cards would you want to have seen in here? What cards did you think weren't necessary in this box? And of course, should they even be including packs anymore? Honestly, I would like more cards and less packs. If I'm getting this is usually for a player, not someone that's going to be opening packs. But hey, it's a good little boost of euphoria. But of course, like I said, let me know what you think about this product down in the comments. And while you're down there, definitely get subscribed. We have weekly videos, and of course we have the occasional live streams on the channel. So if you're not subscribed and not getting notified, of course, hit that bell to get notified when those new videos and streams go up. Anyways, guys, as always, stay safe, and thanks for watching.